Probably. Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to you to this session 4 of the MAP International Online Conference, which is on youth research and leadership. My name is Juhi Adhikari, and I'm truly honored to chair this session today. I currently serve as a youth consultant at UNESCO Kathmandu, where I work across unit for the youth engagement spaces that elevate youth voices in different spaces. But my journey with Mobile Arts for Peace began much earlier as a member of the International Youth Advisory Board and a lead for, sorry, Youth Advisory Advocacy Research YAR team here in Nepal. So for me, leading the YAR team was not just a role, it was profoundly a transformative journey where I had the opportunity to engage with young people across Nepal from diverse background, communities, and culture. And together we used art-based method to explore and advocate for change around some of the most pressing social issues in our communities. Whether it was through image theater, through clay sculpture, drawing, painting, or other artistic tools, we tapped into the universal language of creativity. These methods all allowed us to transcend the linguistic and cultural boundaries and to tell us the stories that often go unheard. And I still remember how our image theater brought visibility to the hidden issues like chhokpadi, gender inequality, caste-based discrimination, and even the environmental injustice that all are framed and it's like expressed through the powerful visual forms, and also it connected with most of the people that we worked with. And this journey, it was not only about expression, but it was also about the collaboration and advocacy that we worked on. So we worked alongside a youth researcher, academicians, policymakers, universities, building a bridge between the arts and the system that shapes our life. And it taught me that art can be a form of diplomacy. And on a personal level, it has also helped me to develop some kind of skills like creatively, like problem solving and also policy communication. I have learned how to communicate with different audience, from local students to national decision makers, most meaningfully. These experiences have all connected me with the community of passionate young people. The friendship, the support, and the shared vision we developed, it has been a constant source of strength and motivation for me as I take along my path. Now as I represent UNESCO and bring this experience into a global platform, I carry with me the lessons, the relationships, the creative force, and this journey as a youth researcher that has been instilled in me. And I remain deeply committed to this journey of art, activism, and advocacy, and also to building a more inclusive and just future through all our youth leadership. I'm also grateful to be chairing today's session alongside my colleague Emmanuel, who joins me in leading this rich discussion today. So over to you, Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, Juhi. And thank you so much, everybody who joined this session. It's being read by the young researchers, young people. And it's very hard to talk after Juhi because he summarized all things in a minute. So it's a very wonderful day for us as young people, just to reflect, to resonate, to see how we participated in the MAP activities in different workshops, in different policy briefs. So it's I'm really glad to chair this session, and I hope it will be much more productive for us. And we are together with the young people. We are not just the adult on this session, but we are together with the different young people from different countries. I think we have more time to reflect, to share different experiences from different countries. And I'm by names of Emmanuel, and you will see different people named Emmanuel. That's the reason why I just shared the link. So they join it and then they come as Emmanuel. So I'm the real Emmanuel on this. So just make sure that I'm the Emmanuel, and I'll be chairing with Juhi this session for youth and leadership. So I'm a Rwandan in Africa, and I worked as youth research in the MAP. And basically, I'm a psychologist and work as child protection specialist from Uisengani Manzi. That's a non-profit organization in Rwanda. So through MAP, it was very wonderful for me, and it was very meaningful journey for me, and it acted as a bridge to my resilience, and it has contributed a lot to my life, and just opened my eyes and gives me the different ways of working with different people, and way of integrating my skills in different contexts. And that way, I was able to get an opportunity to pursue my master's degree from University of Melbourne in Australia. That was another step that I took since I joined the MAP, and it was very wonderful. And I'm still using the art-based methodology in my career, and it was very wonderful. So without, that's my introduction, and hope everybody will enjoy this time. Okay, so yes, Juhi.
Yeah, so just wanted to say a few housekeeping notes before we begin the session. Number one is like, please make sure that you keep your microphones muted, and please keep them muted unless your turn comes. And you can also engage with us through the Zoom chat or by raising your hand to speak. And another is the session is being recorded and the screenshot will be taken throughout. So if you don't prefer yourself to be visible, please turn off your camera. And interpretations are also available in English, Kyrgyz, Rwanda, Nepali, and Bahasa. Please click the global icon below and select your preferred language channel. And throughout the
And the
session,
Kinyarwanda, Juhi, and the Kinyarwanda also is there for interpreters. Kinyarwanda.
yes. I'm sorry, I couldn't like quite pronounce the word. So yeah, so throughout the session, Emmanuel and I will be collecting your thoughts and questions from the chat. So please stay involved. So before we begin, I just wanted to share the aim of the session. So this session, it aims to explore how we can advance youth leadership and deepen the engagement of young researcher, particularly within the proposed UNESCO chair on art-based methodology for peace building. So yeah, now I would like to hand over to Professor Anandabrit, who is the principal investigator of Mobile Ads for Peace project.
Thank you so much, Juhi and Emmanuel. I'm just going to give a very brief overview of MAP and the endorsed UNESCO chair, particularly for those who might not have attended yesterday and or who might be new to Mobile Arts for Peace.
र कतिपय चाहिँ तपाईहरु हिजो हुनुहुन्थ्यो अथवा कतिपय चाहिँ नयाँ हुनुहुन्छ होला मोबाइल आर्ट फर पिसको लागि
Vina, there's interpretation through the main channel. Thank you for everyone's patience. Sometimes working across several languages can take a little bit of time and finesse.
murakoze cyane kwihangana gukorana n'abantu benshi murimo n'indimi nyinshi bizana ikibazo kandi
I believe you're in the main interpretation English channel. If you want to just ensure that you're on the Kinyarwanda channel, that would be amazing. Thank you, Amy. Fantastic. Okay. So for those who might be new to the MAP project, I'm going to just give a very brief overview of the aims of the Mobile Arts for Peace project and also of the endorsed UNESCO chair. So MAP was a 4-year project that was funded by the Arts and Humanities Research Council from 2020 to 2024. And the primary aims of MAP was to explore different art forms in terms of how we could co-design, deliver, and evaluate approaches, particularly informing curricula and policy to address local conflict issues, to explore local healing practices for psychosocial support, to promote the well-being of children and youth, to create alternative spaces and communication structures, to inform local, national, and international approaches to peace building, to use arts and cultural forms to engage children and young people and decision makers and policy makers in dialogue in relation to issues of importance to young people, and to incorporate child and youth-led participatory action research methodologies in diverse social, political, and cultural contexts. In terms of our approach, we explored local cultural forms and participatory methods in terms of thinking through how these forms could be used to enhance dialogue and expression, particularly to enable marginalized young people to develop communication structures between children and young people and decision makers, which would then inform peace building initiatives from local to regional to international levels to inform curriculum and policy. In terms of the legacy of MAP and really wanting the MAP network and community to continue working together as a community of practice, as well as to continue developing the impact of MAP and the great work of our researchers and partners, we applied for a UNESCO chair on arts-based methods for peace building with and for children and young people. So beyond our current partners, we also brought in some additional partners like British Council, who's here on our call, as well as Plan International and Universities Policy Engagement Network, or UPEN. So those are some new partners alongside our numerous partners across Kyrgyzstan, Rwanda, Indonesia, and Nepal. So in terms of our UNESCO chair, we aim to advance education and cultural policies through the promotion, monitoring, and measurement of the contribution of culture to the achievement of sustainable development goals, with the first objective to integrate culture into educational pedagogies, curricula, and tools. The second objective to link with wider policy informing networks to enhance a systems approach for advocacy and positive change. The third objective, to create an arts-based and child and young person informed approach to monitoring, evaluation, and learning. And the fourth objective, to research and test policy process-focused learning. In terms of our work plan, we've already begun to pilot an arts education framework and local curriculum in partnership with UNESCO Nepal. We also have several other pilots in our other 3 countries, and our work plan too to support international, national, regional, and local policy actors and decision makers to engage in arts-based methods. So here we're exploring how the arts-based method and outputs can really be used as evidence that informs policy. To develop country and context-specific MEL tools. So we already have 2 MAP large grants who have worked with our youth researchers to develop MEL tools. We have toolkits on our MAP website as well as our evaluation reports, but we also have a fantastic PhD student, Adam Agbe, and the focus of his PhD is on decolonial and indigenous approaches to MEL, and is using MAP as a case study, which will be a part of developing these tools as part of the UNESCO chair. Also to co-create and monitor theory of change and social impact through our partners with University of Edinburgh, University of Northampton, UPenn, and University of Lincoln's Policy Hub. So that gives you a bit of an overview of MAP and also how we planned to continue developing MAP with and through the endorsed UNESCO chair. Thank you very much for your listening, and handing you back to Juhi.
Thank you so much, Ananda. So I just want to, as we move forward, I would like to take you all to a moment where you can see young people who have shaped the Mobile Arts for Peace project, not just as a participant, but also as visionaries, as advocates, as well as artists. So to the next slide, Veena. Yes. So you'll see on a screen a photo collage, and to me, it's more than just a collage. It's like a window into the soul of Mobile Arts for Peace initiative. In these images, you can see children and young people. They are leaning over a large sheet of papers, molding clay, sketching truths that words often cannot hold. So you'll see the image theater performances, comics, drawings, and paintings that has enabled us to express deeply rooted social issue in a way that transcend language and cultural barriers. So these are the faces and gestures of young researcher using arts as tool for inquiry, for expression, as well as for change. So through this project, young people, they stepped into the role far beyond far beyond that than what society typically expects them to do. So we became researchers, we became evaluators, we became trainers, storytellers. We weren't just asked for feedback, we co-created the process itself. So we shared our thoughts while developing the monitoring, evaluation, and learning toolkit. We brought our stories to attention of the policymakers, not just with the long policy briefs, but through something that just as rigorous as far more alive, like the arts policy brief or art brief, I would say. So all these were the artistic expression of the real research touching on to the societal issues such as gender-based violence, caste discrimination, environmental issue, mental health, issues in educations, and more. So what I find most inspiring is that it didn't matter where we were working, like even if it was a village classroom in Nepal, or if it was a theater in Kyrgyzstan, or a community hall in Rwanda. So there was an incredible common thread that the belief that we had. It was the belief that the art can speak truth to the power, and that young people already hold the wisdom to lead it. So this slide overall, it tells you the story of youth leadership in action, which is like creative and collaborative. It shows how when given the tools and trust, young people are not only capable of leading the research, but we are also ready to lead the change. And with that, I also invite you to watch a short video that brings some of these voices and experiences to life. And I think that's being shared in the chat. I guess Veena will keep the link in the chat regarding the video. So you can click to the link and watch the video. So yeah, that's the thing that I wanted to explain from the collage itself. Now over to you, Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, Juhi, for the classification and giving us the overview of the drawings, paintings, and the images. That's the probably the art best approach for young people that created those things that shows how they feel, how they react, their feelings, their expressions through arts. I think for young people, it was very nice for them to take time to show how they feel, to show the problems that are facing the other young people, the problems that are in the communities. So we are in this session for young people and youth. So we have more time for discussion, for sharing with different folks from different countries. So this is the roundtable discussion one. I would like to invite each and everybody on the call just to reflect, to think about this roundtable discussions. We'll be having more young people to reflect on this roundtable discussions. So for MAP young people, they participated in different workshops, different activities of MAP. And I would like to call upon also Veena to share the slide. So we look at how young people, they participated. So in this roundtable, we have more time to reflect on it. So I would like to just to have quick reflection for each and everybody by sharing us in what ways your participation in the MAP project, you feel like it's more meaningful to you. This goes to the young people. Just think about how your participation in the MAP you feel like it's very more important to you. And this will be more open conversation for each and everybody. And this is I'll be calling upon the young people from Rwanda. He's aside me. He can share about us how his participation felt like it's so meaningful to him, and will be sharing their insight. So let me call upon one of my counterpart, one of my young people that we used to engage in MAP. I was a facilitator, and he was young people from school. He can take a lead and then share for us, how did you participated in MAP, and how do you feel like it was very, very meaningful to you? So allow me to give the floor to the young people just to share from Rwanda.
Hello again. My name is Happy. I'm the student of Rwanda from Kamonyi. Yeah, I'm here to say about how Najanga.
Yes, he can speak in Kinyarwanda, so for the interpreter can interpret the session.
Thank you. Just to make sure the interpretation for Kinyarwanda is now linked. Is that right, Vina? Is everything okay for interpretation?
Murakoze. Ngewe Najanga nyine nje kuvuga nk'akamaro map yangiriye mu buzima n'uburyo nyine nayi participatinzemo. Bwa mbere na mbere map mu buryo yamfashije mu buryo buri youth problem for policy maker, nabaye nk'umupolicy maker wayo, mfasha bagenzi banjye bari bafite ibibazo byo mu mutwe biri mento, nkabafasha dushushanya dukora art maze bakagaruka mu mwanya mwiza. Mfasha no mu buryo nk'abo ngabo babaga bafite ibibazo nkabashyikiriza abo bishinzwe bakuru kuri njye, bakabafasha birusheho, tukagisha inama, tukaganira, tugenda tukiteza imbere, nabo ngabo bafite ibibazo bigenda bigabanyuka. Ni ubwo buryo njye yamfashijemo, ifasha n'abandi biciye muri njyewe.
You could just stop there, please, just to make sure we can now have the translation. Fred, do you want to unmute yourself to translate?
Yes, Ananda, can I go the overview of what he said?
We can hear you, Fred.
Hi, Ananda, can you hear me?
I think Fred is muted.
We can hear you. Yes, Fred.
I'm going to translate the side. There you go.
Is Fred speaking?
Thanks so much. And we have a prompt from Vina that there's an interpretation channel, which you'll find at the very bottom of the Zoom page. And it has You can go to any language. So for those who'd like to go to the English channel, you can, or whichever language you need to have interpretation through. We do have interpreters in each of those channels. Vina, anything else about interpretation before we go back to Emmanuel?
I think it's all good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fred, you can go to Kinyarwanda channel again if you would like to translate into Kinyarwanda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over to you, Emmanuel.
You're on mute, Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, Vina, and thank you so much, Happy, for sharing. This is the open conversation for young people, and I would like to call upon my colleagues from different countries if you would like to share from Nepal, Indonesia, Kyrgyzstan. So if you would like to share more about your participation, your meaningful participation in MAP, you can raise up your hand and then I can go with you. If you are willing, you can just raise up your hand and then you can give you the floor and then share for us about your participation in MAP, how you felt that it's very meaningful for you. So the overflow is yours from different countries.
I see a hand up. Rasid?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, if it's okay, I'd love to share something with you. May I kindly request permission to share my screen?
Yes, you are co-host now, Rasid.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We can see the presentation.
Okay. Okay, hello everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Rasid and I come from Indonesia. And I'm active of member of Fountain and Youth Advisory Network. It's up to children in Indonesia and also honors as a GNP ambassador. Ever since when I was young, I carried a business and are again based ambassador. My just I saw the things that didn't it right. Children who never went to school, rivers flooded with the voice of young people. This is an important community decision. I often feel like I was in world that moved too fast and too carelessly. With no place, children like me to make a difference. What can I possibly do? But then I discovered that sometimes a stage can be more than a platform for performance. It can be a place to be heard, to be seen, and to spark change. Because I only take one moment of expression to unlock a lifetime of impact, and that moment come to me through the power of art. For me, meaningful part means the active, equal, and impactful development of young people in every decision making, starting from identifying issues, designing solutions, implementing programs, and their outcomes, especially that directly affect their life. Meaningful your participation is not just about tokenism or consent. It's about creating a space and program. It's been representing youth not merely and beneficiaries but as equal partner who brings perspective, energy, and innovation. I believe meaningful participation require more than just yet. It also need capacity building and support from adults. So that young people can grow in their roles effectively. This include leadership training, advocacy skill, communication, and technical knowledge. When you are meaningful people, they become a driving force for inclusive and development. I think through the campus project, I stepped into a new world where art become a tool for participation and transformation. This wasn't just about painting. It was about reclaiming our voice, gain peace together, and yet from chaos. Tending to explore participatory art as a method of expressing life experience. And balancing, we create musical drama, perform traditional and music, created digital videos, recited poem, and exhibit photo narrative education to stating uh, uh, creation message as a performance with a protest, a proposal, and a promise. But stepping into this wasn't easy. Before we could find our voice. And also, many of us come into the project uncertain, introverted, and unsure what we could offer we have growing up. Being taught to listen, not to speak, but the gain peace process turned happy into transformation. We didn't just learn about change or cultural right. We reflected on our own stories of community and what mattered to us. We were guided to reimagine advocacy not as a confrontation, but as creation. It's a process of deep self-discovery and collective healing. Confidence didn't arrive overnight. It arrived through consistency, care, and community. And through art, we slowly began to take up space we never imagined we could. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rashidi, for your very wonderful reflection. You reflected, shared something which is very important. As you can see in the chat, different points that you mentioned. Thank you so much, Rashid. So, and everybody who would like to share, I can see Ami, you raise up your hand. You can now share about the point.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I think I was just clapping for Rashid, but thank you for the opportunity to say that. Thank you very much for those reflections.
And I can see Celeste would like to share. Yes, as we can go. And the next point, it's just for all. It's just for all. We'll be sharing. Yes, yes. Vina, can you go up the previous slide? Yes. This is just, I would like just to look at how most of us can reflect on how do we define the meaningful youth engagement. And then the Celeste was raising up the hand from Rwanda. Celeste, are you there? Can you share for us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, you can share for us. What does it mean for youth engagement? To you, what does it mean for you?
Thank you. My name is Celeste. I'm a teacher and I'm a master trainer about mobile art for peace at school in Kyrgyzstan district at GS Remera Protesta. We have many people, many young people in our clubs. Those people participate in many activities to building peace, travel, art, and many activities like mental health, culture, and many activities. And it's this meeting is in one of opportunities that you have to share with other countries the meaning of building peace travel arts is in important things. If we say peace in Rwanda, we say many things about our culture, about our history, about our lifestyle in our country. It is important things to building peace travel art in young people, because young people is the future of our country, is the future of our families. The young country are the future for all things, not for our country only, for all the world. So at GS Remera Protestant, we do many things to travel art using methodology for that you have. We have sharing together in many using the travel theater, drawing, songs, and many things. And we are so proud for that. Today, the young people in our club, we have a garden at school, a garden for mobile art for peace. We have a garden for vegetables. Vegetables is one of those garden is like art. We have here many photos, you have many videos showed how young people contribute to building peace, to building a best future with other peoples that we have other peoples from other schools. Those peoples come to visit us and sharing together how we do to rebuilding again young people to have peace, to have harmony, to have a good heart, to be a strong mind, and comment dirais-je, and
Emmanuel,
to rebuild.
Yeah.
Ouais?
Yes.
Thank
Yes, Ananda?
you so much for that overview of a map in schools and the great work that you continue to support and develop with your young people. I'm just aware of time, and I'm aware that Juhi has a couple of videos and images that are still, that our chairs still wanted to share before end of session. So I'm just handing the floor back to Juhi and Emmanuel here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ananda, and thanks so much, Celeste, for sharing the overview of map crabs at schools. Now there's this goes to Juhi. Juhi can go for the roundtable discussion.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Rasid, and young people from Rwanda. Thank you, everyone who participated, and it's incredibly powerful to hear all of your reflections. Now, I would like to take you all through a movement inward with other young people. So let's reflect on our journey, not just as our role or our input, but taking you back to the path that we have walked as the part of this project. And now let's see the journey of the young people. Like, where did it begin for them? Where did they see it? What did they see throughout the way they feel or they discover along the way? So maybe it was a movement that challenged us, a person who inspired us, or a piece of art that became our voice. So now I think we are going to showcase the reflections through presentation and recorded contributions from our young people. Let's start with Vina. Let's start with.
Hi, my name is Ayana, and I study at school number 87 in Bishkek. Our school was part of the Art for Peace project in Kyrgyzstan. I'd like to share how we, students from Bishkek, did a research project on what stops real communication between generations, and how can we make young people and adults understand each other better. From our past research on youth issues, we realized that most problems come from one big thing: lack of communication between us and adults. The first thing we did was organize a meeting called Talk to Me, Hear Me. We invited adults, teachers, child inspectors, psychologists, parents, and of course, young people like us. One big issue for youth is that we often don't feel heard. At the meeting, we used art to build trust and start an open conversation. We acted out scenes where adults played kids, and we played adults. It was super interesting to see how everyone would handle tough situations from the other side. After the performances, we had a big discussion. Here's what young people shared. A lot of us feel awkward talking about our feelings, because in our culture, it's just not something people usually do. Society expects us to hide our emotions. It's hard to find someone who's open to listening about personal stuff. We don't always understand ourselves, and no one teaches us how to talk about what we feel inside. We often don't trust adults, and doubt that our voices really matter. We don't have the skills to speak up or take part in decisions that affect us. And here's what the adults said. Parents do love their children, but they don't always know how to show it. Our own parents never asked us how we felt. We never learned to talk about our emotions either. Schools and universities don't teach us how to build good relationships. Many parents don't know how to truly listen to their child, or how to support them. Sometimes they're not ready to be parents. Adults often think young people are too inexperienced and don't take us seriously. We also shared our vision of what good communication should look like. In the family, I want warm, open talks with my parents, even just during dinner. I want to be heard. I want no violence from my parents, not even emotional pressure. I want the kind and respectful communication that makes me want to be a better person. The most important thing is to listen and support each other in the family. I want to talk about my problems without being judged or scolded. I want my parents to see not just my mistakes but also my successes and strengths. I need their support. At school, there should be mutual respect between students and teachers. Classes should have no more than 20 to 25 students, so everyone can be heard. It would be great to have clubs or special class hours where we talk about things like choosing a career. If teachers stopped dividing students into good and bad, it would be easier to talk to them. In the community, respect personal boundaries, be polite and kind to each other. Be able to speak up and be heard, learn to really listen and understand each other. In the country, create opportunities for quality education. Make sure young people can develop in different areas. Provide jobs for youth that motivates us to keep learning. What we learned. To help a young person feel happy and successful, we need to help them grow as individuals, find their talents, open up, and learn how to connect with people. Art is a great tool to help with that. Organizations working with youth should definitely use art more. It really works. Our recommendations for organizations working with youth. Add lessons in schools that teach how to understand and deal with conflicts, how to build good relationships, how to understand your feelings and express them in healthy ways, including through art. Bring artists, actors, painters, singers, etc. into schools. This really inspires youth, boosts creativity and motivation, and helps us see the world in new ways. Train people who work with youth to use art-based communication methods like forum theater, filmmaking, photo storytelling, drawing, comics, things that help teenagers express themselves. Let art students do internships in schools by leading after-school clubs and creative events. Build a system where artists work together with schools and youth workers to create cool programs that use art with young people. Everything we discussed at that meeting became part of a policy paper. Our Youth Coordination Council helped create it. We had lots of meetings and ideas about how it should look. In the end, we made the final version. We tried to share it with different organizations that work with youth. We, the young people of Kyrgyzstan, want to thank everyone who made this project possible. The University of Lincoln, which started this amazing Art for Peace project, the Global Change Research Fund UK for supporting us, the youth from Indonesia, Nepal and Rwanda who joined our online meetups, and especially the Foundation for Tolerance International. They were always with us. What we learned in this project will stay with us, and we'll keep using art in our schools and lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing. Fantastic video. Thank you so much, Foundation for Tolerance International, our partner in Kyrgyzstan as well, for supporting the development of that video. Just to note that we have Maria here with us from UNESCO. Thank you so much, Maria, for being here with us. I'm aware that you need to leave strictly at 10, and you're one of our fantastic respondents. So, Vina, if you could just fast forward to that slide. And we'll ask Maria to introduce herself briefly and then respond to the contributions thus far. We are aware that we will be extending beyond 10, especially so that Juhi and Emmanuel can continue to share what they've prepared for today. Apologies to everyone on the call if that will take us beyond our plan ending at 10 o'clock. We understand if you do need to leave at 10, but we also encourage you to stay on the call up to 10:30 if you can. Kirrily Pells is our respondent who will be responding at the very end at 10:25. So handing over to you, Maria. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ananda, and my sincere apologies to all people on this call for changing this, the order of things, let's say. I really apologize. I understood the session would really finish at 10, and there is another meeting I have to jump to. A very, very interesting presentations that I have seen so far. Of course, Ananda, we have been on the project for years now, and I have seen the power of the project, the value of the project, and definitely we are in discussions of how to connect further. To answer the question, really, I don't want to take too much time and disturb too much the flow, but just to answer the question and give some thoughts at this point. One of the things, and just it's wonderful to follow directly from the presentation from Kyrgyzstan, because one of the things that was mentioned and that was really revealed is the need for intergenerational connections, intergenerational understanding when we're looking at meaningful youth engagement. And the basis for one of the bases of meaningful youth engagement is really to create the basis and the openness for intergenerational connection and understanding, which is not easy because there are cultural, social norms associated with how we understand age, with how we understand the role of youth versus the role of other generations of stakeholders in society. There are also power relations based on age, structured based on age and they are different in every society. So I was very pleased to hear the presentation to see the presentation from Kyrgyzstan to mention that, because really this is one of the foundations, and we have seen that at UNESCO we have developed specific tools to facilitate intergenerational dialogue at community and country level. We have applied them in 20 countries so far. And we have seen the reality of it, like we have seen the challenges and also the opportunity that such dialogue can present. And we would be very happy as this program advances to see how we can use these tools in the context of the program and also use integrate arts-based methods to deliver and adapt some of the modules in the context of the program. That's the first point I wanted to make. I have 3 points in total, and that will be very, very fast. The second point is, looking at meaningful youth engagement and your question as to how to influence policy. I think what is important, how arts-based, how knowledge produced through arts-based methods and by youth can influence policy. I think what is very important is to create a precedent, create a successful precedent. So you have already developed a very important project. You have connected with stakeholders in society over the past few years. Now, with the help of UNESCO, and I know we've discussed that before, Ananda, looking at taking 1 or 2 countries, starting as a pilot whereby you can connect with policymakers and you can use the knowledge and the evidence and the information produced through the research program to inform policy change, whether this is a local legislation or at national level, some kind of legislation, some law, some policy, some strategy. And UNESCO has this contact with policymakers, so definitely there is ground to build on that. And then once you have these successful experiences through which you can learn, then you can, through your connections with organizations that have access to policymakers, you can then advocate for more. Because one of the things that policymakers need to see is examples of where it works. It is very rare that people will want to be, okay, you may have instances where people want to be, they will see the value and they want to innovate, and so you have to leverage those. But broadly, often policymakers will commit when they see something working in another country or in a neighbor country, or somewhere else in the world, as per our experience at least. And then last but definitely not least, meaningful youth engagement is also about everyone understanding what meaningful is, what meaningful means. And this is not easy. This is not easy because there are different perceptions about what meaningful is and what meaningful engagement of youth is in every different society, because it's very structured. And again, we have seen that through our toolbox for youth policy and programming. One of the tools is about training institutions and local actors, including youth organizations, as to what meaningful youth engagement is, and understanding and kind of understanding how meaningful youth engagement can happen in their specific context, in their specific community, in their specific society. And one of the things that we have really realized is that often it's not just stakeholders, non-youth stakeholders, that do not really grasp fully the extent of what meaningful youth engagement entails, the different principles, what needs to be done, but also young people themselves and youth organizations. And so it would be, again, very interesting to integrate a meaningful youth engagement training, for lack of a better word, or awareness, or like capacity development locally in the context of the projects. That is all. Thank you very much to everyone for, I'm so sorry, this was I feel like it was a monologue and not a discussion, but very happy to answer any questions that may come through, like in the next minutes, that are relevant to this.
Thank you so much, Maria. That was fantastic feedback and wonderful to hear about how we can continue to develop some of the modules, integrating MAP's arts-based approaches and otherwise, and some incredibly useful resources. So we're really happy to engage with that as well. Thank you as always for your support and your partnership, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you, Ananda, and thank you to all, and congratulations to all the young researchers for all the great work.
Thank you so much, Maria.
Bye.
See you soon.
See you. Bye-bye.
Handing back to Juhi. So we are at 10, and as I had mentioned, some people might need to leave the call, but again, encouraging people to stay on the call who can. And floor is back to you, Juhi.
Thank you so much, Ananda, and thank you, Maria. So now let's move on to the river journey presentation. I guess we have that from Nepal. So if Veena, you can put the river journey. So in the meantime, river journey is basically a tool that helps us to picture out our past, our present, and the future while we are engaged throughout the project. So in context of Nepal, we have made it little creative, like the hill of life, and then the flowing river, and then it comes to the island of hope. So basically, it's this one. So I would like to invite young people from Nepal, Romila, to explain the river journey.
Hi, hello everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. So I'm Ramila Taman. So I'm going to explain in Nepali. यहाँ चाहिँ एउटा रिभर जर्नीको पिक्चर छ। यो चाहिँ हाम्रो एउटा आर्ट वर्क हो, जुन हामीले हाम्रो यार मोबाइल आर्ट्स फर पिस एन्ड यारको जर्नीमा हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ हामी 30 जना यारहरू मिलेर चाहिँ बनाएका थियौँ। सो यो चाहिँ एउटा पिक्चर मात्र होइन, ड्रइङ मात्र होइन, यो चाहिँ हाम्रो एउटा भोइस, एउटा चेन्ज अनि एउटा होप हो। अनि सो हामीले चाहिँ फर्स्टमा यता पास्ट भनेर देखाएको छ, जुन चाहिँ घरहरू, मान्छेहरू रहेको छ। र यो पिक्चरमा चाहिँ हामीले किन यस्तो बनाएको भन्दाखेरि सुरुमा चाहिँ हामीलाई केही पनि थाहा थिएन। हामी डिफ्रेन्ट कम्युनिटी, डिफ्रेन्ट डिस्ट्रिक्ट अनि डिफ्रेन्ट ठाउँबाट आएको थियो, जस्तै हिमाल, पहाड, तराई, अनि कोही मधेसी कम्युनिटी, कोही तामाङ कम्युनिटी, कुनै मगर कम्युनिटी, धेरै कम्युनिटीबाट चाहिँ 30 जना यारहरू चाहिँ आएको थियो। सो यसमा चाहिँ हामीमा कन्फिडेन्स थिएन, अनि अरूको अगाडि बोल्न चाहिँ डराउने, लजाउने, अरूले जज गर्छ कि आफ्नो त्यो मदर टङ आउँदाखेरि अरूले के भन्छ कि भन्ने त्यो टेन्सनमा थियो। त्यसपछि हामी बिस्तारै प्रेजेन्टमा जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ वर्कसपहरू गर्न थाल्यौँ। अनि डिफ्रेन्ट ठाउँहरूमा जाने, जस्तै सुर्खेत, हेटौडा, ललितपुर, अनि काठमाडौँ, स्कुल, कम्युनिटी, त्यसपछि एजुकेसन लेभलको मान्छेहरूसँग पनि हामीले आर्ट बेस्ड मेथडको थ्रुबाट चाहिँ सोसल अवेरनेसहरू दिन ट्राई गऱ्यौँ। अनि यसमा चाहिँ हामीहरू ग्रुपमा काम गरेको भएर चाहिँ एकअर्कामा चाहिँ घुलिँदै गयो। घुलमिल हुँदै जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ हाम्रो त्यो कन्फिडेन्स आफै बिल्ड हुँदै गयो, एकअर्कालाई सपोर्ट गर्ने। अनि मेनली थ्याङ्क यू फर जुही दिदी, जसले चाहिँ हामीलाई एउटा कम्फर्ट जोन चाहिँ प्रोभाइड गरिदिनु भएको थियो। अनि सी इज लाइक बेस्ट मेन्टर फर अस। अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ माछाहरूको चित्र पनि बनाएको छ, जसमा चाहिँ माछाले चाहिँ हामी यारहरूलाई डिनोट गर्दछ। अनि यसमा माछामा चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट कलर्सहरू पनि छ। यो कलर्स भनेको चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट कम्युनिटी, डिफ्रेन्ट ठाउँको मान्छेहरू जनाउँछ। र त्यसपछि हामी यो प्रेजेन्टमा हुँदाखेरि हामीले धेरै मान्छेहरूसँग इन्टरेक्ट गर्ने अपर्च्युनिटीहरू पायो। त्यसपछि हामी एकअर्कालाई सपोर्ट गर्दै अगाडि बढ्दै गयौँ। अनि हाम्रो फ्युचरमा चाहिँ के देखेका छौँ भन्दाखेरि, अहिले त्यो बेला चाहिँ हामी 30 जना मात्र यार थियौँ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ पछि फ्युचरमा चाहिँ हामी 30 जना मात्र होइन कि एउटा ठाउँमा मात्र होइन, नेपालको डिफ्रेन्ट लोकेसनमा चाहिँ यस्तै 30 जना यारहरू चाहिँ अझै बढ्दै जाओस्। अनि हाम्रो एउटा यारको छुट्टै एउटा अफिस होस्, जसमा चाहिँ यङ पिपुलहरू चाहिँ आएर काम गर्न सकुन्, अगाडि बढ्न सकुन्, सपोर्ट गर्न सकुन् भनेर। सो यस, यति नै होस्। थ्याङ्क यू।
Thank you so much, Romila. Moving on, yes, let's move on to our discussion question roundtable 3, because we are like kind of short of time. So I would like to hand it over to Emmanuel again.
Thank you so much, Juhi. Thank you so much for everybody. And now we are running out of the time. We didn't welcome the young people to talk about the river journey from Rwanda. It's because of time. I think we can go the round table discussion for 3. Is that okay, Juhi? Yes. So this is for roundtable discussion 3, and there will be welcoming the respondent Kirrily and Maria have reflected on how all the discussion roundtable was what about. So this is the last point for our roundtable discussion as we are heading to the end of our session for today. Now we are looking at how we as young people, we as the adult, how we'll be engaging the further youth research and the readership in your own ways. We'll be reflecting on this roundtable discussion. So feel free to reflect on this roundtable discussion. Everybody is welcome. You can just raise up your hand and then you share your thoughts. Everybody who wants just to share can just raise up your hands. I can see Rashid raise the hand. So Rashid, you are welcome. You can just share a little bit about this roundtable discussion.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Sorry, Rashid. Before you speak, if you can go to English channel, if you aim to speak in English, please go to the channel, English channel, so then our interpreter can translate into Bahasa. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to share the screen. Okay, thank you very much. I would like to share my journey in MLP on the Again Peace project. I saw a friend who used to look down every time she spoke in class, now standing proudly on the stage, reading a poem about how her village faced flood every rainy season. Another would never raise her voice, now play angklung in the perfect rhythm, while smiling at the crowd. Some become Macy's, other dance, and who once adopted my own strange stood on the same stage and found my voice. We were not magically transformed. We were support, challenged, and believed in. We children are trusted with space to grow. We don't just bloom, we lead, and our stage become our microphone to speak truth. What amazed me most, how far our voice carried through Gan Peace. We broke our performance into Musrenbang, the local participatory development planning forum, for the first time. Children weren't just in the audience, we were on the agenda. I remember the silence in the room after a friend performed a poem about how her home was swept away by flood. That silence said more than any policy paper ever could. It was the sound of adult listening, truly listening, because when our stories are real, rooted and resonant, they create ripples and the space that matter and policy we realize can begin with a form. And the culmination of our journeys with the 2025 and Festival Aksi Generasi Iklim in Jakarta. Alongside youth from each province, we performed drama, recited poetry, and exhibited documentation of our advocacy effort. But it wasn't just a festival. It was a collective declaration of present, of power, and of a promise. Government official, civil society organization, and communities, which not as a spectator but as witnesses to our truth. The day that day we were not longer just part of the conversation. We were leading it with clarity, creativity, and connection. The most powerful transformation wasn't just individual; it was collective. I saw peers who once hesitated to speak now confidently facilitating community discussion. I saw shy performers turn into trainer and organizer. I myself began to see my voice not as an echo, but as an instrument of impact. This wasn't about becoming someone new. It was about uncovering who we had always been. Because meaningful participation, not only what we do, but how we see ourselves, and art with the mirror through which we saw our own potential clearly. And one moment that still echoes in my memory is when we read our manifesto, Generasi Iklim, a passionate statement of hope, urgency, and vision for climate justice. As the words were spoken, I looked into the audience and saw the adult not just watching, but reflecting. I feel our collective heartbeat in that room, strong, steady, and unafraid. But we had written not just a message, but a memory. We were no longer seen as beneficiaries or observers. We were acknowledged as changemakers with stories that move and voice that stay. And none of this change happened in isolation. We were supported by a powerful network, Save the Children, local artists, children forum, school and community leaders. The partnership with Saung Angklung Ojo reminded us and how culture and activism can work hand in hand. We didn't just perform, we collaborate, co-curated and co-created a movement that can be carried beyond us. True impact is never created alone. It is always nurtured through trust, diversity, and collective strength. And every person who worked with us become part in this story. And from this experience, I've learned art is something extra. It's essential. It's a language that connect head and heart. As a tool can shape not only feelings but future or help me find my voice. And now I use it to create space for other. I will continue to build stage for children speak, dream, and lead because we are not waiting to be given space. We are building it one story, one film, one angklung note, one real change at a time. And we perform, we spoken, and we lead. But for this effort, today's children and youth cannot stand alone. We need adults, not as a savior, but as allies, not just to upload from afar, but to work but to work beside us. Listen deeply and open doors where a decision are made. The biggest transformation happen when adults move beyond saying children us the future and start treating us as a present partner in shaping change. And the Climate Generation Festival offer 2,300 children and participate 8 provinces were mobilized. Ministry stood up to sign joint declaration with us. But this should not be even. They must be evidence of what's possible when intergenerational collaboration is real. So here is our call. What first include us and policy that affect our life, and fun space where we can lead with safety and creativity, and uh, the last trust our voice even when they challenge the status quo. Because the world we're trying to change isn't waiting, and neither are we. Let us save the solution with you together, no later, together now. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. What beautiful words, what beautiful thoughts and concepts. Vina, I just want to check in briefly about time because we have 15 minutes to close. I'm aware that another video is created from youth researchers in Indonesia. How long is that video?
It's 8 minutes. But if answering the question 3, it would be 3 minutes. I don't know what you think.
Answering the question. Sorry, can you repeat?
the question 3, the round table question 3.
The question which was posed, how can we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'd suggest is if people can respond in the chat regarding ways that you see, and this is you individually or you organizations you're connected to, could see how we might further youth research and leadership to help guide us in the UNESCO chair. That would be incredibly helpful. I do think, Vina, because the youth researchers have put in the time to prepare that video, that we need to screen that. So that will take us up to 10:25 basically. And then Kirrily is closing with the last 5 minutes. Is that okay, Juhi and Emmanuel, as far as the last 15 minutes, how we manage time?
I think that should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Thank you.
Halo Kak, sebelumnya kenalin aku Haikel, di MAP sebagai Youth Storyboard gitu. Itu pernah bergabung dengan forum anak dan komunitas sinematografi gitu. Nah terus setelah kegiatan yang waktu selesai, aku masih mengikuti beberapa kegiatan kesenian gitu kayak buat film, terus ikut lenong, terus juga ikut beberapa kegiatan yang diadakan sama teman-teman IAB gitu. Sama fokus aku sekarang sih lebih ke kerja sama sepak bola Kak. Maksudnya ngawal timnas ke Piala Dunia gitu. Setelah kegiatan yang selesai gitu, berasa ada yang hilang juga gitu. Jadi akhirnya aku mutusin buat coba berkegiatan, tetap berkesenian gitu kan. Setelah MAP selesai, kayak kebetulan dari Kajo gitu, dia pengen ngadain dan nerusin atas permintaan teman-teman di bagian tradisi juga. Lenong yang pernah mereka tampilkan di MAP itu dilanjutkan. Ada di mana kesempatan buat aku dan teman-teman kayak Indri, terus Adit, yang sebelumnya punya tugas yang berbeda di MAP gitu. Kita jadi satu buat jadi tim kreatif, kita bikin naskah bareng-bareng, terus kita ngelatih anak-anak bareng. Kita dibantu gitu sama bantuan para pelatih yang pernah melatih di MAP juga kayak Om Jo. Terus dan gak nyangka kalau misal selama pertunjukan berlangsung di hari H gitu penampilannya bakal jauh lebih baik gitu dari gladi sebelum-sebelumnya gitu. Ya sama ini sedikit tambahan, kemarin aku baru submit cerita pendek dengan cerita dan ide yang sama gitu dari kolase cerita awal GMAP terus film. Kita aku kembangin lagi jadi cerita pendek dan satu foto editing.
Ini di share screen kompetisi yang Haikel maksud.
Mungkin ini sedikit cerita Kak, di luar kegiatan yang waktu juga. Aku sekarang lagi sibuk di komunitas bola gitu Kak, La Grande Indonesia. Di kualifikasi round 3 kemarin tuh, teman-teman La Grande Indonesia bikin tifo yang gede banget gitu Kak. Dan kemarin aku seneng banget dapat penghargaan Muri gitu. Di koreo-koreo itu, di kreativitas itu, aku berperan penting gitu, maksudnya dipercayakan menjadi mandor, dan itu semua aku rasa karena aku juga sih, jadi kayak nggak cuma berani sekedar buat bicara, tapi juga semangat gitu Kak, melahirkan semangat-semangat yang baru lagi.
Di bulan Agustus itu kita IAB memfasilitasi lomba mewarnai gitu untuk acara 17-an untuk anak-anak sama ibu-ibu di Erpetra Cipinang Besar Selatan. Nah itu karena aku udah ikut di MAP juga, jadi lebih mudah untuk ngejelasinnya, walaupun kadang aku emang belum terlalu bisa lancar gitu Kak untuk ngomong di depan orang. Cuma itu bikin aku lebih mudah aja sih untuk ngomong gitu di depan banyak orang. Terus kita sempat memfasilitasi lagi konsultasi anak untuk ini dalam rangka penyusunan naskah akademik rancangan peraturan daerah kota layak anak. Kita memfasilitasi, kita nanya tentang masalah apa sih yang terjadi di kehidupan anak-anak di daerah mereka masing-masing. Terus kira-kira kita nanyain solusinya kira-kira apa. Nah, itu kegiatan ini yang bakal nanti dimasukin ke naskah akademik itu. Nah, terus aku sama Haikal juga di bulan, seingat aku Oktober akhir itu pas sampai bulan Juni kemarin kita terlibat di kegiatan Bangga Fest dari Atmajaya. Di situ aku jadi astrada. Mungkin yang terakhir sih bulan Mei sampai bulan Juni kemarin aku diajak ke Harla dan Kanila dan bersama-sama juga sama Laura dan tim pendamping anak dari Atmajaya, Penan namanya, untuk apply proposal untuk proyek Being dari Grand Challenge Kanada. Meneliti tentang kayak untuk mental health gitu di anak muda, terus kayak kita cari kira-kira ide yang tepat untuk mengatasi masalah mental health itu gimana sih?
Perkenalkan, nama
Thank you. So just mindful of the time, I will just stop there and just to think the way that we can share that in our website. Over to you, Juhi.
Maybe we can put that video link if it's available in the chat. Yeah.
It's not uploaded yet, but we can upload that in the map website, if possible. So we have Indri actually here in the call. But yeah, again, just be mindful of the time. And thank you, Indri, for coming and joining us today. And I'll just offer to you, Juhi, to continue with closing.
Yeah, hello Indri. Now moving on, we would also like to hear thoughts from Dr. Kirrily Pells, who is also a MAP co-investigator and associate professor of childhood at UCL. So the floor is open for Kirrily now.
Can you hear me okay?
It's going in and out. Hello, Kirrily. The sound is going in and out a tiny bit. The connection is going out.
If I have my camera off, does it make it any better?
No. There's a little bit of a metallic sound in the background.
I can leave the call and come back. Sometimes that sorts of.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's see if that works. Thank you.
In the meantime, I'm sharing the link of your videos that Juhi mentioned earlier, and also Padlet link. You can write down your comment or feedback or thoughts in that Padlet platform, and particularly for this session, for session 4.
So also you can think in a way like if it was a canvas, what color or image would you leave behind on it? Or maybe like a word, a feeling, a memory, a question that's still there in your mind. So please, you're welcome to type it all in the chat or like put it in the link that Veena shared.
Can also just get a small paper and then put some drawing, like easy one, reflecting on the session.
Thank you, Juhi and Emmanuel, for that prompt for people to feedback in the chat to draw the reflections, thoughts, feelings, inspirations, ideas for us. And Kirrily, hello. Let's
Hi,
see
is
if
it
we
any
can.
better now? Does the sound any better
It
now?
is better. It is better.
Oh,
Thank you.
fantastic. Well, it's really wonderful to be with you all today, and it's really hard to follow this wonderful presentations. But just a few reflections that I had when listening this morning was, first of all, the theme of connection seemed to come up across all of the presentations, thinking about connections between young people, how young people often feel isolated.
Sorry to interrupt, Kirrily. Could you please go to English channel so that the interpreters can hear what you're saying? Thank you so much.
I'm so sorry. When I left the call, when I came back in the call, I was in the wrong
That's
channel.
fine.
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. Thank you so much.
I was saying that I think the theme within this session this morning has been about connection. So thinking about connections between young people, how young people are often isolated, and bringing young people together, being able to connect across different countries and cultures is really, I think, at the heart of what MAP's doing. Thinking intergenerationally as well, connections between generations. Again, we've heard a lot about the barriers and if you look in the news, there's full of stories about how, you know, young people don't do this and they don't do that, and they're terrible, and this is quite a radical kind of challenge to that, by saying, well, actually, young people are here, they've got so much to contribute, to say, how can we build those connections? How can we build more understanding? But also, I think one of the things that's different with MAP is thinking about connections between internal and external. So thinking about internal peace and external peace. So many of the young people's testimonies this morning was talking about the need for kind of change internally, whether that's in terms of mental health, whether that's the way that you might see yourself, for example, and needing to be able to either have help or a way of processing some of the internal life in order then to about peace within the home, within the school community. So I think that's really key that's been coming out of MAP, is that connection between inner peace and outer peace. And then I liked about all of the presentations was that the different ways of talking about participation, very creative expressions and visual images that we saw. And I think within the academic literature and also the policy literature, participation often gets reduced to something that's very technical. You do this step, then you do this step, and then you do this step. But what I felt was it was much more of, within MAP, we have the activity of the stew pot, where we put in lots of different ingredients and then stir it all up and see what comes out. And I feel that this is something that came out of the different presentations. It's not that there's a right way to do meaningful youth engagement or meaningful youth participation. There's certain things that are important. We're talking about reclaiming voice, about thinking about equality, for example, but that could look like different things in different countries, or in different situations, or from different groups of young people. So I think as we go forward with thinking about the UNESCO chair, it's more, I would think about developing different principles, different means of engagement, rather than, like I said, sometimes there's this is what it looks like, more like having different possibilities. And I think that's the last thing that I would end on, is the possibility. I can't put it more eloquently than the presentations from the young people, but that sense of possibility, that sense of hope, for the future is very political, particularly given the world that we live in right now, and the kind of terrible things that are happening. That kind of sense of hope and possibility, I think, is really exciting and can keep us all motivated and energized for the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kirrily. And back to Juhi and Emmanuel to close for today.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for young people who managed to join our session. It was very, really wonderful session. The respondent, those who presented different reflection, different ideas, experience. It was really wonderful. And I'm so glad that I was sharing this session alongside Juhi. And I'm very, very happy for this. And this should be not the end, as Juhi said, should be like continuous commitment, sharing. It's very, really wonderful. It opens the minds for young people to share their ideas. And this is really wonderful. And thank you so much. I really appreciate each and everybody, especially Ananda and Vina for your contribution and your support. So just made this session happen. Thank you so much, everybody. I just appreciate. Juhi, you can just say your word.
No, I also just want to say like a huge thank you to all the young people, our speakers, our interpreters, our participants who have made this session so dynamic as well as meaningful. So yeah, let's keep the conversation on going. So we also do have our social media and also beyond. Let's get connected, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Yeah, thank you.
And thank you,
Thank you.
Juhi and Emmanuel.
Huge thanks to Juhi and Emmanuel for all of the great planning that has gone into the session and for your leadership. Thank you for being excellent chairs. Just to note that we have our next sessions starting imminently. So maybe grab a tea, coffee, water, join us again. The next session is based on informing policy and curriculum, particularly in Rwanda and Nepal. That session will be followed by another session with the same aims focused on Kyrgyzstan and Indonesia. So again, continuing to think through how we develop the endorsed UNESCO chair in those sessions. And huge thanks to Kirrily as well as Maria for being respondents. Thank you so much. Thank you all and see you
Bye.
soon.